Well, if your child's school graduated less than 50% of the students, what would you do? Probably look for an alternative.
In fact, that's what thousands of families in the city have done, and their alternative, without spending thousands of dollars, is a charter school. But while charter schools are public schools paid for by your tax dollars, they get a fraction of the state money that traditional district schools get.
So, tonight, in our New York State Exposed Education Report, Berkeley Breen is asking the question, is that fair? Berkeley?
Hey, Janet, charter schools don't get any state money to build schools or renovate old ones. That has been the law since 1998. So in Monroe County, we find them in old party houses, Catholic schools, and empty suburban schools. They've had to turn libraries into classrooms. Some of them don't have gymnasiums. And wait until you hear what happens when one administrator tries to answer my question while someone uses the bathroom upstairs.
The moment happens after I asked the Associate Chief Operating Officer of Rochester Prep Charter School about state money for his school. Listen carefully.
We're willing to pay for space, I think, too. We're not looking for a free ride.
That's the echo of a second-floor toilet in the first-floor conference room. The charter school is inside the old Holy Family School on J Street. It's one of Rochester Prep's 2 elementary schools. The other one is in an old Maple Street party house. If Rochester Prep wants to modernize its buildings, it has to find the money itself.
We're a public school, so charter schools are public schools.
State law says charter schools get taxpayer money for every student, but nothing for buildings.
Well, the impact is significant.
Jeff Hollesdorfer is the principal of Eugenio Maria de Hostos, an English-Spanish charter school inside an old Catholic school on Joseph Avenue.
For example, today our children are at the YMCA because we don't have facilities to accommodate them for physical education.
There are 14 charter schools in Monroe County. 3 just started this September. More than 4,000 kids attend charter schools. That's more than 10% of all students in the city. But we could not find one instance since the late 90s, when charter schools started in New York, when a lawmaker tried to change the laws and give charters access to taxpayer money for buildings.
When we went down and decided to create charter schools, we didn't do them so they would be exactly equal.
Assemblyman Joe Morelli is the majority leader in the state assembly. He and a majority of lawmakers voted for charters and what taxpayer money they can get. So we asked him, why not equal public money for charters? He says traditional district public schools pay a lot of money and face a lot of state regulation that charters don't.
So they have alternative approaches, alternative regulations. They are not exactly the same. For instance, aren't audited by the state comptroller.
In other words, the savings can be used for facilities. The charters say they want to use their money in the classroom, not on it.
And that we could spend our time, too, on what's most important, which is student achievement.
Now, there is a public hearing tonight at the City School District offices downtown for 2 new charters. The meeting starts at 5:30. The district office is at 131 West Broad Street. The hearing is on the 3rd floor, conference room. The City School Board will take input from anyone who speaks, and the information will be passed on to the State Department of Education. So if you have something to say about this, that's where you want to be. At 6, we're going to ask some direct questions, and we think it's going to make some news. Janet?
And Berkeley, one of the problems is that charters really have a hard time getting money from, say, banks for their facilities, right?
They told me that financing is tough. So the charters are good only for 5 years. And if the school isn't very good at the end of that 5 years, then the charter isn't renewed. The banks know that. They don't like the odds. And so the schools are left renting old buildings where a lot of the pipes still make a lot of noise.
All right, some interesting insight. Berkeley Breen with our report tonight. Thank you for that.